Yay! What up, baby? I listen. We're going through we're going through the um we're going today, but I did trade I did make some trade, mark some trades, whatever on Tuesday. So I wanted to show you that. It was a big down day. It started out, I think, as an up day. I don't know. Um I was talking to this other guy I know who trades these. Apparently he get in up here, right? Like it kind of went at pretty much at the top, allegedly. Kind of like right here, this candle bouncing off the midline. I don't draw those in because, um, I mean, 15 minutes in, I guess it could reverse, but like the trend isn't really established, so I'm like, why trade that? But it's a little risky, but it worked for him. Um, I don't know. He makes so much money, and I forget about reg channels until he tells me he's making money. Then I'm like, oh fuck. Um, I took this one though, which is really nice. That was a supply zone. This is just so I do have cumulative volume delta down here because I was watching some videos, and I might try to bring it in. But the problem with is that like when you're not back testing, when you're forward testing, like when I'm just watching the market, you kind of start to rely on these new indicators because they're shiny, and sometimes it leads to bad decisions, which is what happened here. Um, this time, price action was good because you had this lower lows, lower highs, and it just came right up to that. That was just a nice short, my boy. And I forget what the actual thing looked like, VP, but um, and I'll show you what that looks like. Yeah, why is it like this? Oh, I see. Over here, I thought it was like starting to climb from a price action perspective, but this like barely closed above this high. It kind of just wicked straight down. Um, and we were in such a downtrend. I already made money going short, so it's kind of like, why? Um, and there was this nice green candle, but also look at this. Like, I should have been paying attention to this, these highs. Uh, and what did I see on here that made me excited? Really nothing. I mean, this doesn't even make sense either. This, you had like some good volume, but like you see it pushing up and then volume goes up a little bit. Volume does not break this high, makes a new higher. So just the whole thing is like, you know, this might look like a good place to reverse up, but in this big old downtrend, like it's just making two attempts and then failing. Funny enough, you could have gone in on that one for a nice little jog. So yeah, I really don't know. But anyways, let's go to let's go to Friday. Let's go to Friday. Let's draw these in and just see what happens today. I feel like I draw them in and then I try to use them, and then it just completely ignores them. Okay, so we just had a big fat drop off. Big old drop off right at open after a big downtrend overnight. So I might be I might be bearish on this. Actually, didn't really look at this. Oh, we sold the heck off, dude. Wowie. I think it'd be hard to get up there, but that's a big supply zone. And there's it looks like there was some structure around here, so I wonder if it'll bounce, but I don't know. These are big bars. Let's draw this in. Yeah, I was watching this guy, Fabio Valentini, fucking Italian guy, who he's very like apparently he competed in the World Cup and I don't know if he won it. Sounded like he won it. I couldn't find his name. I don't know why you would lie about that though. It's just so hard to like look at something on YouTube related to trading and be like, I should look at this. But the thing is, he uses concepts that are that I've had interest in before. Like he uses basically price action, CVD, and order flow, like the bubbles. And that stuff all sounds like pretty good to me. It's just like volume analysis, like and like not really footprint, but like um candle. What do you call it? Oh, wait. This looks like a good place to go short. There was this big old impulse. Maybe, maybe we're reversing the initial trend. Um, this is like a midline. This is a supply zone. It did have this big impulse, but like it was making lower lows. Cumulative volume delta here. Here's a little bit of CVD analysis. Is lower than kind of this area where we like hitched. Um, but does it want to go? I wasn't thinking it was going to make it all the way back up there, but it is. You know. Seeing these two green bars, I mean, let's see if it can break below this one. If it does, I'll go short. How about that? How about that? But yeah, this guy's stuff like seems pretty sound. It's just so hard, dude, to trust anything. Um, as far as I know, he's not selling a course yet. So there's a lot of volume at this level too. There's a gap. I kind of like that. What should we target? I think this would be a decent target. If it does come down from here, like it could go down for, you know, let's just take a look here. Yep, I'm in. CVD is not pushing any volume back up. Look at, oh, Maron, 63 points. Okay, I got to remember to like, to, what do you call it? Actually draw out, not draw out, like think. What, that was a good one. To be like okay, here's my confidence, blah, blah, blah. Beep, 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 beep. That's two. Damn, there's actually a lot of shit here. I'm just typing out all the shit. It's actually good as well. Of course you can't see it. Go. And that's so in. I would say like clean, strong moves. Yeah, I'd say 2.5. And maybe I'll look back at this and be like, this should have been a 3 out of 3 trade, you know? Because that first, if you did enter on that very first candle, it like goes against you pretty quick, but you know, I'd say half because I'm. It's really like having the trend at your back is reassuring. Like this is a very, and this is why we take pictures too, because this is now very clear. Come on, man. Come on, man. There you go. Yeah, it's just, look at this. This is kind of interesting. This is a little divergence that I wasn't looking for a reversal, but like maybe this is where maybe there was a zone here or something that made sense. You have a low and a low, and then you have a deeper low on the price action, but that's actually a slightly higher low. So this is the delta divergence that people talk about. And that if I had other reasons to go bullish, that might be a good kind of confirmation that bulls are defending this level to try and reverse. But catching reversals like that, trying to catch that bottom on a day like this, that's not good. It's Friday. I've got a nice beer in hand. Let's see if it'll take out the low of the day. Even though we're all the way up here, you notice the volume is getting back to this level. And there's a lot of fighting going on to get lower. Pushing out. If I'm actually trading and I'm sitting on a 63-point win on a Friday morning, like I'm just sitting back and fucking chilling my way. I'm not even interested in getting in. And this is also a point where so at the end of okay, that looks like it's gonna yeah. I, that might have taken you out right there if you're still hanging on. Oh, that just barely didn't. But it looks like it's coming up. At the end of Mark Douglas trading in the zone. Um, there you go. It's like he says basically that the carefree trading is oh, that's a this green bar is tempting if I was trading. If I was looking for a reversal. That does look like a reversal. Right off that midline too. Maybe you should only trade reg channels with the trend. That's not the best zone. Like it did have to kind of oh, so here's what cumulative volume delta tells you. Here's why it tells you not to take that because you got this, but on the chart here, this was higher, but you have this right now. So this high is getting pushed down. Um, that's what I like about CVD. I think it's like okay, this is a trap. This is fake. Let's see if we just blast through there. Yeah. So probably some stops down here. This really gets, like you want like one screen for price action, one for reg channels, one for volume, you want all that shit. But I'm just trying to record on on TradingView right now, so it's a little messy. My bad. That's still POC, that red line. Yeah, that's what I like about this CBD stuff. It's just telling you what the day is doing, what's going on. You can just zoom out if you get confused and be like, oh yeah, definitely going down. This looks like a reversal, but what do these lows tell you? Higher low, lower volume, higher low than this one. Also even lower volume. So yeah, this is really just like maybe we're just gonna keep taking off low. And I do want to add in the order flow. I tried to do some stuff, some indicators on here like bubbles, and I think TradingView doesn't have the most accurate volume stuff because it actually I don't even know if it has full order book access with like the most premium version. Maybe with a more I pay for this, but I pay for like the basic one. So all the volume indicators that people make on TradingView are like kind of estimated. So these order flow things are kind of like back engineered, so they're not 100% accurate. But when you get I'm trying to see what's going on here. Pushing lower, pushing lower, pushing lower. But I don't. You could enter on this one, but I think it's actually it's not a horrible stop. Let's see if it makes it. I'm not going to leave that because I didn't enter obviously, but um, kind of glad I didn't enter. Oh, it's pushing down. Um, the what was I trying to? Oh yeah, so you can't fully rely on the volume stuff and the order profile stuff. So that would have been a W. Nice. Um, But okay, yeah. So the whole idea is like it's 2 o'clock, and I don't think anything else is gonna happen. That would have been a nice one. Um, Big push up. Maybe sellers locking in that profit on a Friday afternoon. You know, here's kind of a zone that I didn't draw. Not a great zone. That was a big push, and there's POC here. Again, not the best zone, but this did like kind of POC and then like a little bit of a gap. If I was a betting man, and I am, and you see us flattening out a little bit here, it's kind of like a battle, like slash change it. Some people call it like distribution. I guess I don't really fucking know. Um, since I already have a bunch of money, let me put this on for like a quarter. We'll add that in right now. I have an idea. How about we let them play out, and then that way we can add in. We have room for the CVD chart. So let's do like a quarter, and I think. I mean, fuck it, dude. Let's just start at the bottom. Keeping a close eye on this, because yeah, it's like, dude, I don't. 63. Oh my God, what a fucking play, dude. Okay. This is just a nice day, right? And these look pretty similar, right? This is obviously there was more going on here, but this is just structural stuff. It's just like lower lows and then big, pretty, again, like not a lot of clean higher lows on the upside. Same thing here. Pretty much just like a straight up to that area. This is where there's like kind of structuroni down here. Nice, I like that. I feel good about that. Um, Quarter profit, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was. Except it wasn't risky. It's just that I have. So maybe I should have gone half based on these rules, but let's take a look. Games. Have lower CVD. Um, engulfing. I don't really use like candle patterns, I guess, but engulfing candle on both charts. This is kind of the most important thing about this is that the volume didn't push higher than that. Um, I mean, yeah, dude. That's just a nice. I just feel good about that. I was pretty. I was pretty confident. That was also a two. It's like a 1.98. Cut me some slack. It's Friday, dude. The other one was over two, so it kind of just averaged out. Don't come after me for 0.01. Okay. Overall downtrend. Okay, supply. Well, that's not great though. There was a little bit of a gap up there. Um, CD confidence. I mean, this felt pretty clear, right? The thing about the confidence thing is like if I, yeah, I'm gonna say three confidence. See if anything else happens. See if you can hold this one because the last one you would have just gotten taken out if you were holding. But yeah, the I just realized I never finished that chain of thought. The trading in the zone thing says like the pretty much the most clarity you can have, and it makes sense, is like after you've captured profit for a trade. It describes having a runner. It's like you capture profit for a trade, leave some on with no risk or with only partial part of your profit is risk, and then basically you can watch the chart without the kind of bias or nervousness of like, can I win this? Because you already won. Um, so I think it's pretty basic, but it's good advice. Um, my boss calls it post not clarity, which I think also encapsulates it really well. Okay, that's 4 o'clock. It's already pretty long. I was a little confused on what was going on here. I think maybe just stay out because it's Friday afternoon. But you had this push higher, but it didn't really. Still in this downtrend. Um, yeah. Oh, okay. So there's all this battling that's like slightly up trendy, but this is a little more downtrendy. Okay. What this guy was saying is there's like price action, which I don't know if he described it this way, but the way I was thinking about it is like this is kind of like context and also supply and demands. He doesn't use supply and demand, but I think of like supply and demand as like an entry, a key level. He uses order flow. If you've ever seen like Bookmap, it's like those bubbles of where price is like where a lot of volume is happening. Um, and that's kind of like when you're at an entry point and you see volume that matches your conviction, then you're like, okay, this is a good time to get in because it's not like fake, you know. And then I think cumulative volume delta also just kind of helps paint like what's actually going on. Nice drawings. But yeah, that's enough for today. It's Friday. Enjoy the weekend, baby.